Hello everybody and welcome back to another Have a Lunch with me. Have a lunch with me. Have a lunch with me. Happy Friday everybody. Today is Have Lunch with Me, where we're gonna have lunch, chit chat, answer some questions, and just like chat a little bit. If you're new here, welcome. This is a weekly series on my channel. I am making it just Fridays now because life is not too spicy to warrant enough chattiness. Hopefully you understand, but these will be on Fridays only from now on, but every single week. So I hope you enjoy. Feel free to leave a comment down below if you have any questions, things you want to know, want to ask. I'm an open book for the most part, and you know, as long as we're not breaking any privacy boundaries, I'll answer. So let's get into it. I've got my stylus here, which is actually from Poshmark. I got this from PoshBoss, but it's got the little silicone nub, so you can like do the touchscreen. And because my my iPhone is what I film with, I have the table and I can't reach the stop button, so I use this to touch it. Anyway, all right, so let's talk about lunch. I actually, in a vlog that's gonna come out in the next week or so, wearing the same stuff, sorry, I am talking where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna eat out, or I'll order something, I'll order something, weekly ordering. I decided not to, and I'm just having my leftovers, which is a lemon herb chicken, green beans, and rice. This was a boil in a bag jasmine rice. This is green beans, and this chicken was bought from Ralph's, pre-marinated. So let's get into it. I'm hungry. I have salt and pepper. I'm so discombobulated this week. It's like very weird. I'm finishing up a cold brew from a place called Black Canvas Coffee here in LA. And this is black cherry flavor. It's so good. Ooh. And then I've got my water, just regular water. And of course, for some seasonings, should I need it, I have salt and pepper. But I don't think I will. I might need some salt for the rice, but just a little bit. So let's take a first bite. Oh my gosh, this is a big piece of chicken. Oops. I air fried it. Or I used the bake setting on my air fryer, which, if you would like to know about my air fryer, it's the Instant Pot. It's right behind you. The instant air fryer. It's called the Instant Vortex. Sorry. There's so many names. It's like, is it the Instapot? No. It's the Insta Fryer. Not the oven. It's linked down in my Amazon store. It was the best investment. I had this for dinner last night because the marinated chicken that I got came in a pack of 2, so it was perfect. I'm hungry. Okay. Oh my gosh. Is anyone single out there? Single? And if you've watched Sex and the City, if you start to think like, oh my god, you're gonna start choking, don't you have flashbacks to Miranda when she thought she was gonna die alone because she choked on her like pork chop or whatever she was eating? Nothing has happened to me like that, but I'm like, there's been some times where I'm like, oh my god, that went down the wrong pipe. I hope I can come out of this. It's scary. You guys, this is so good. It's just a Foster's Farm boneless chicken breast. Boneless, skinless chicken breast. In like a lemon marinade. It's really good. Lemonade and herbs. Lemonade and herbs. Might as well be. Alright, so let me take another bite because this is so good. Let's get into it. Okay. First question. Do you like free people? Oh, sorry. Let me start that over because I didn't say the person's name. Posh Resell CJ says, do you like free people or anthropology better? That's a good question. My response is I'm neutral. I don't pick up free people and I don't really pick up anthropology brands. I mean, pretend, the world isn't in the state. I wouldn't actively purchase free people or anthropology brands unless they're brand new a tag, but it has to be a good brand that can warrant enough. It's not so much whether I like it or not, but if I've had experience with it moving or not moving, that's kind of what leads me there. There's no favoritism, but that's my honest answer with that one. I would say it depends on what it is. Like, sometimes free people does really well and sometimes it just doesn't. Obviously, new at tags is always great, but I don't know. Just depends, because sometimes the market is saturated. Like, this is what happened with Madewell too. I'll still pick up some Madewell pieces as long as it's good and stuff, but free people's kind of like on the edge. And I think I just said this, it can be saturated. So like, you might think you found a gorgeous dress, or maybe you did some online arbitrage or retail arbitrage or something, before. Where I live, that's like not a thing. There's not a, no, that's a lie. It is a thing, but we do not have low prices. Like when at the yellow tag clearance at Marshall's and TJ's, it does not get that low here in California, here in LA. And I've gone outside of LA as well. So, the lowest I've seen it is $15. So maybe I need to go further. But in general, Free People is one of those brands that is part of that sale. But it's one of those brands where if it's on sale, I find if it's on sale, that means like that's kind of roughly-ish the market price, unless there is something unique about it, or like it's a leather, but they don't do leather, I don't think. They do faux leather, so vegan leather, if you will. That's a good question. Good question. Yeah, I don't know. I feel weird saying favorites because I can have a favorite, but I want to buy stuff that's going to sell for my business. So whether I like it or not, if I know that there's value in it, I'll pick it up. But I guess what I'm saying is I have not found the value in it recently because it has not delivered me a profitable return. So that's that. But that's always changing. Things are always changing. So I'm not going to say I won't ever buy it again, but we'll see. Next question, Mrs. George's Coolness. Mrs. George's Coolness. Was it your first earthquake? And if it was, you survived. So if you didn't follow, or if you didn't see my Instagram story, which link down below if you want to follow me, PoshBossBlake, we had another earthquake recently, like 2 days ago. I was in my bed, and my building's older, so it's a little bit more rickety-crickety, like noise-wise. So all of a sudden I felt like this jolt, and I was like, my windows start shaking. I don't have new windows, so like they're old and rattly. And I was like, oh my God, someone's breaking in. And the last time I felt this, we had an earthquake, and lo and behold, it was an earthquake. Some people felt it, some people didn't. Like my friends, Sell Quick, Ship Quick, Tiffany and Hugo, tongue twister. They live further outside of central LA, and they didn't feel it. But someone, Laura Von V, who's kind of central in LA, she felt it. So Laura and I both agreed that was like a jolt that we would prefer not to experience, but it's happened and I live to tell the tale. I will say earthquakes in general, there has not been one since I've lived in LA that has like done damage, thankfully. Oh my God, knock on wood. But I will say the past 6 to 8 months, there has been the most earthquakes in one time span since I've moved to LA. And that's a lot. That's a lot. I think we're on two hands of how many earthquakes there's been now since my time in LA, and a majority of them happened within the past 6 to 9 months. So I think that's a little weird. Leave your conspiracy theories down below. Well, not a conspiracy theory, if you catch what I'm saying, but I mean, every time that there's an earthquake, I always think about San Andreas Fault. The movie with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Ugh. It's a good bad movie, you know? Okay, moving on. What are your top 5, the_canary_closet, mouthful. What are your top 5 favorite brands to sell right now? So that kind of goes into the other question from Posh or Resell CJ of like, do you like Free People or Anthropologie? Like, my favorite brands is something that will sell. You know? I would say the brands that I am accustomed to are not something I have access to on a regular basis, like most of us these days, so I don't really have a favorite. Again, my favorite is something that I can have come to me that I can sell. Right now, that's not that many things. Some people are online arbitraging and all these things, and like, power to ya. I've done it. Have I done it recently? Not really. I'm looking, but I haven't found anything that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that. It's worth my time. What I'm finding is, let's talk about Madewell. That's a good one. So Madewell has like good quality stuff, right? And anytime there's like a new tag item, I will definitely entertain buying it. And if it's like a pair of jeans or something, I'll snag it no matter what, as long as my cost of goods is low. But they're, like many companies, are having like crazy sales. So like right now, you can go on Madewell for men and women, because I don't know if you knew this, but Madewell does men's. They're having like a crazy 50 to 70% off additional on sale items. Like, you can get shirts for $3. So, like, in my mind, that's not a place to go get the items, because to stock up for inventory. Like, it's definitely great if you're shopping for yourself, but I mean, so with online arbitrage, it's always like a gamble, right? Like, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, excuse me. If there's a market for it, sure, but keeping in mind that resellers and people who can't source in store are sourcing online, / regular non-resellers are catching wind of these sales, I don't want to go stock up on like $23 shirts, because if I can't even sell them for $5 or $10, what's the point? And even if I can, that's like not enough after fees and like my time. That's like, it's like not worth it to me. And I know some other people might feel differently, and if you can rock those like smaller sales, power to you. But I just don't find the time, I can't justify the time to look at it, to look up comps, to hold on to the inventory, to take up the space, to maybe not be able to sell it. Who knows if people are gonna buy it in the future? Like, we still don't know like people's shopping patterns, and like, we're in like a very ever-changing market. So yeah, maybe I could go get a $3 t-shirt. It's like buying it at a thrift store. I don't know. I feel like that could become saturated. Like, these sales that are doing really good things could just become saturated with resellers buying the inventory and then listing it. I don't know. I'm sure people have all sorts of different opinions, and like, let me know what you think, but retail arbitrage was already something, retail/online arbitrage, that's kind of challenging. I find that for retail or online arbitrage, if it's going to be worth my time, it's got to be high end, because I'm going to spend a bunch of time researching things that I can get a return on. And, you know, there's tricks to the trade as to how you're going to source those things, whether it's on Posh, whether it's on eBay, whether it's on a brand's website. I would just remember that we've only been in this situation for like a month and a half, not locked up, excuse me, self-quarantined, isolated, etc. Safer at home. And if the sales are good right now, imagine a month from now, like Memorial Day, what is that going to be like? You know, like, that's like something people should think about, and I don't think people are. Like, yeah, fine, get your stuff now, but like, there's probably going to be like ridiculous sales to buy for yourself, to, if you want to have inventory, like, do what you want to do. But I don't know. I think, who was I listening to? Pure Hustle podcast, Orlando, was live with Hugo from Sell Quick Ship Quick, and he said yesterday in his live that it's kind of in reselling, it's a time to sell through your inventory. What did he say? Oh my God, he had a phrase. You want to have liquid. You want, basically, I can't remember the phrase, but he said this to some effect. You really want to like sell your inventory that you have and get your profits, get your cash to be able to buy in the future. Because once things kind of go back to a place where people can shop again, whether it's in person or, you know, a brand has a really good, crazy sale and you want to like stock up, you're going to need the liquidity capital to be able to do that. So I think people should be mindful of buying your inventory right now, when knowing in the future you're probably going to want to stock up on a lot of items. People who are online sourcing, people who are online arbitraging, they might just drop out of reselling, or they're going to be the ones that are like spending tons of bucks to restock, rebuild their business. So I don't know. It's definitely something to keep in mind. I personally am in like that capital phase. I've made some investments in terms of inventory, and now that's it. I've made my investments, that's it. I'm not spending anymore. I'm just selling everything I've got in my closet, everything that I've ordered that comes in, etc. Now it's just make my money back and profit, and then like, unless there's like a crazy something that I come upon or something, but I'm really trying to have more cash on hand to be able to make a purchase, or even as like an emergency fund, right? Like, we think things are bad now, but like, what if something worse happens, you know? I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer. I'm just trying to like, you know, make sure that you and your business can sustain, you know? I wouldn't recommend going out and spending all of your money right now on inventory, because we don't know what people's buying habits are going to be, you know? So I hope that's not like a downer. I just want people to be mindful that this is still continuing. Things are still going on longer. People could still are still losing their jobs. Businesses, who knows if they're going to come back, especially small businesses. And when we come back, it's not going to be at the snap of a finger. Things won't be the way they were instantly. It's going to take a lot of time to build that up. So just be mindful of that with you and your business strategies. And ultimately, if you're not cross-listing, cross-list on multiple platforms. I personally use Vendoo, and I list to eBay and Mercari. I use their import tool to grab everything on Poshmark, bring it into Vendoo, and then publish it to Mercari and eBay. It is such a time saver. It's like what would normally take a few minutes is now 30 seconds to a minute to list something. So it's incredible. Highly recommend. I didn't mean this to be a plug, but if you want 25% off your first month, there's a link down below and you can try it out for yourself. The import tool is an add-on feature, but check out the website and it's like amazing. Feel free to ask if you would like an in-depth review on that, because I'm happy to do it. It's truly a time saver. I believe in it. I know there's other cross-listing platforms that people use, but that's the one that I've used. I used it when it was in beta mode, when it was free, before they started charging, which ultimately is like a very, very small fee. So considering what it's doing, but yeah, that's what's up with that. Sorry, long-winded answer. Wow, that was like a 10-minute answer. But it's serious. I want, I'm trying to throw these nuggets of wisdom so that you're prepared mentally, you know? As a business person, you want to make sure that you're thinking ahead. You're not just thinking about now, you want to think ahead. That doesn't mean panicking, okay? Don't panic. It just means, you know, anticipating, you know, leaving some wiggle room for changes in your business. You know? So, I hope that was helpful. I know that was for a what are your top 5 favorite brands question. But, you know, that's how I feel. So, that's that. Jodes.co.xo. Hey, Jody. Hi. She wants to know inventory. I know you usually don't store a lot, but would love to know what you do. Fact. So, because I have a small living space, I can't really like have that much inventory. I would say I roughly have between 100 and 150 items in my possession at one time. Right now it's kind of a little bit less than that. It's like somewhere in the 90s, but I did just get some inventory in. I have some things coming to me and I'll be able to boost that back up. But I've been selling through a lot of my inventory, which I highly encourage everyone to do, as I just mentioned. But how I store it is in clear totes, and I just stack them in my closet. I don't have a numbering inventory system because I don't have like so much inventory that I am gonna put it somewhere and then forget or not remember. Like someone who's full-time, who has hundreds, thousands of pieces, I would probably have a numbering system or like a letter system to identify what tub it's in, when it's stored, etc. But I don't. I think I've mentioned this before, I have almost photographic memory, so like I remember where I put things in that regard. And there's really only like 8 bins. So it's like men's is one because there's not that much men's. And then I have dresses. And then if the dresses bin is full, I do dresses and skirts in another one. Or, skirts and shorts. And then shoes gets its own bin. And then miscellaneous or jackets, etc. So as organized as I can be without over-organizing, I think if I were to do a number system for me in the level of inventory, it would be wasted time to break it out that much. Because like I said, it's not like I have 1,000 items. It's in one of 8 bins, and they're clear, so you can see everything. So, I wish that was a little bit more insightful. For those who have a lot more inventory, I really recommend checking out people who are full-time that have talked about their inventory systems, because everyone's different. Everyone stores differently. People use tubs, people don't use tubs, people use clear tubs, people use not clear tubs, like solid opaque ones. People use inventory systems, people use plastic baggies with a little sticker on them. It's really up to you and what you want to do for your business. In terms of what I store my items in, I have clear polys that I'm almost done using. So once those are out, I'm not buying anymore. That's the only not sustainable part of my reselling business that I can improve on. So once those are done, it's just going to be nicely folded in these tubs. And some people were like, do I need to fold it? I would honestly recommend folding your items if you don't, because it will wrinkle less. And although you're buying something maybe secondhand, used, etc., you don't want to open something and get one giant wrinkly mess. I mean, you're probably going to wash it, steam it, whatever yourself, take it to the dry cleaner. But I mean, presentation, it's one thing to have just put the thing in the bag, but don't just toss it in the bag, at least try to fold it. If it's not something that's easily foldable, do your best. And that's all that you can really do. You can't help what happens in transit, but if I were to open something, I would like to be at least folded or attempted to be folded. So I hope that helps. I'm trying to think. I think if I had double the amount of items, I think I would switch to an inventory system. But that would change a bunch, because it would change how having like 100 to 150 more items would, like, the thought of that right now in my space overwhelms me. So it's not something I can do, because I would also have no place to live. It would take up my apartment. But some people have said, like, oh, get a storage unit. Very fair recommendation, very fair. But assuming I go back to my full-time job, my day job, some storage units, and the ones closest to me, have business hours. You can't just, like, go 24/7. I don't know if that's, like, a California thing for safety. I don't know. I know there's some you can go 24/7, but the ones near me, I cannot. So I wouldn't ever be able to go, like, after work. And what else? The cost. Oh my gosh. So even a 5x5 can be like $70 to $120, depending on a 5 foot by 5 foot storage unit. Could be so expensive, and the business has to warrant that cost. And although I have the profits to be able to spend that, it's really cutting into my bottom line, because if I'm not, I don't know. Right now, it costs me $0 to store my inventory. You know what I'm saying? And then to add, let's say $100 on monthly storage, where not only I have to now travel, so gas money, and I have to make trips. Like, what's the process for that? Do I photograph everything and then take it over to the storage unit? Okay, then what if something sells the next day? What if someone has a question about something that I didn't think about? Do I have to, can I bring a printer there? Do I have electrical capabilities there? Because having a separate space, not a part of your home or your building, it's more time, it's gas to then go to the post office. What if you forget something and you have to go back to the other location? Like, it just doesn't make sense. My building does not have storage units, unfortunately. I have a parking garage. I don't have a garage to myself, or like a lockable closet, you know, like some spaces have. So although that would be nice, it's just not practical. Yeah, that's really how I feel about that. I mean, I've inquired. There's like random doors in my apartment complex, and I'm like, are these storage? They're not. It's like one's a water boiler, not a water, what's that called? A water heater. One is a closet for all the exhausts, like when we have our fans over our ovens. That goes somewhere, and it doesn't go out to the exterior or to the front street-facing side of the building. It goes to the inside in this closet that is like a funky design, which is ventilated. So I was like, okay, well, I can't put anything in there because it's a ventilation system. So I don't know. I mean, stay tuned for a future vlog where I talk about maybe increasing my space. Maybe. But I don't know, like the inventory thing, like I would love to have a separate space for my inventory and my poshing to live, because the unique situation about a studio is I can only separate so much. I can put my inventory in my closet, but I've got my ring light. I can't fully decorate my apartment, because particularly the wall where I photograph, because there's nowhere else I can do clean photos. I'm not going to set up a photo pop-up, like a photo booth, because that is going to take up more space, and it's going to require like putting it against the wall, so I could then have a hook come through, have to cut a hole in the hanger box, the hanger, or the photo booth, so I could like somehow hang the items that I'm photographing. It's not practical. It doesn't work. So that is frustrating. And I'm trying to, especially now that I've been in my apartment a year, I'm like, do I paint some more? Like, I only did this a couple months ago. This is my kitchen wall, which is only, it probably goes, like, it's 3 more feet to the right, and then it's the window. Like, and then, you know, right here is the counter, and it goes all the way down. And then my living room, it's a lighter version of this color, which I realize this never really accurately shows up, because the lighting's always different, but I have a lighter version of this color in my living room, but I'm finding that is actually not great for my photographs. I have to spend a little extra time adjusting the warmth of my photos because of the color of my wall, which I thought was going to be exciting. Turns out it's actually a challenge. So I don't know. I don't want to paint that again because it took time. It was annoying. But if I did, you know, what would be a good color? I need some color. It's like a creamy, like ivory white. No, it's like a cream. That's what it is. It's a creamy color all throughout the apartment. But I need that like focal point. And in my last apartment, my last studio, I designed this incredible wall. I'll see if I can find a picture. I don't know that I have any. But I did this geometric design with layered tape and paint. But upon move out, it took 8 coats of paint to cover to make the strips from where all the paint layers. It took 8 coats of paint to even that out. So I was like, oh right, I'm not spending that much time on something just to prime it. It was also bad primer, but I was like, that's like too much work. So, my gosh, this video is really on a tangent today. I guess I just have feelings. I'm feeling, yeah, you know, that's what it is. I'm feeling like I just need more for my space. You know, if I could turn it into like a 5,000 square foot home. Hey, Jeffree Star. Oh, 5,000, my God, that's like 20,000. I'm just trying to think of ways to be creative. I can't really move my bed. I'm not gonna show you like my full apartment. I don't know, privacy, I guess. But there's truly, trust me, I have designer friends. There's no other way to like nicely organize this, knowing that I need to use space on the wall to be able to photograph. If that wasn't the case, I could probably play around a little bit more and put stuff along the wall, but unfortunately, the way the walls are worked out here, I only have one space that's enough for me to take photos. The only other place would be this wall behind me if I got rid of this kitchen table and put it out in the living room. But then I also, if I'm taking a dress photo, I can only go back so far. Like where you are right now, I can only probably go 1.5 more feet back, but me as a person and my booty, I mean, standing right behind this would be as far as I could go. And I know when I'm photographing, like I'm staring at a jumpsuit I need to photograph, I need to stand back to be able to take that, to get it to fit in the frame. So it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I don't know. I also thought about painting the cabinets in my kitchen, but they're so old and disgusting. Not disgusting, but they're just so old and so many paint layers already. Like, is that worth it? I don't know. But when you're in the space 24/7, you know, it's stale. I'm a person who always kind of like changes my aesthetic, or like shifts my bed or moves things around every so often to just like change it up. But I think having to be home all the time has accelerated the turnover for those changes. So now I'm like, okay, well, it's been like 6, 7, 8 weeks of staring at these walls, this configuration. But there's nowhere else to go. There's nothing else to do. You know, it just kind of is what it is, and that's something that I like have to be okay with for the time being. At least I have shelter, and you know, I really like my building. I like my property manager. We're friendly. I say hello to my neighbors. I have my window so I can look at the couple with the bird on their shoulder that they take for walks on a regular basis. If you don't follow my Instagram stories, you're missing out. Just saying. So yeah, that's that. This isn't like super high energy today. I'm sorry. I'm hot. That's what it is, honestly. My microphone is gonna probably take 2 or 3 more weeks to come, so I don't want to turn the air conditioning on because it'll be very noisy. I feel bad having the fan, but like I'm sticky. Like, oh my god. My legs are sticky. I'm sticky. Oh my god. I'm hot. I'm so hot. I'm really, really hot. Yeah. This is like the point at lunch where it's like when you've caught up with a friend and you're like, let me see if there's any other questions. Oh my god, there's one more. Sorry. It was so deep that I was like, oh, let me hold it off, but decided to make these, I can't even talk. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's just get into the question. Last question. Denali. I'll do Joe Thrift. It's a big one. It's a big one. What brings you joy in life? Oh my god. Oh my god. It's a good question. What brings me joy in life? Well, joy. Not being superficial. Like, my answers are not based on like being superficial. So I would say what brings me being with people that I feel loved by, like my family, very close friends, etc. That brings me joy, and seeing them happy and seeing them succeeding in life. Or yeah, succeeding in life, sidebar, succeeding in business. Whether they have their own, whether they're a reseller, whether they're trying to start something up themselves for whatever path they're trying to do. Seeing them succeed and like seeing if I can help. Like I love to help. So if there's any way I can help you, I know that's not always the case. I'm like very willing to do that if we have a relationship and I can do that, whether asked or not. And I would say with helping, what brings me joy in life is also volunteering. I volunteer for the Los Angeles LGBT Center as much as I can, which right now is not really that much, but that's a place where when I first moved to LA, it was my safe space. That's where I felt like I fit in. And I've been volunteering there since 2016? 16 or 17? No, 16. It's like one of the first things I did when I moved here. And it's like the best thing. I've met a bunch of people through that experience. You know, like I have my like volunteer friends or the people that I'll connect with and say like, hey, are you guys doing this event? And, you know, we'll try to organize so we can all do it and catch up. And people from all walks of life, all ages, all genders, all everything. And it's just great. That brings me joy, helping people. And one of the places that I particularly like to help with are the Pride events. So I know this might not be what everyone wants to hear, but you know, you're supporting me and this is a part of my life, so thank you. One of the events that I love to experience and help out with is Transgender Pride here in LA. I would love to help elsewhere too, but that's not where I live for the time being. So Trans Pride is usually coming up in the next couple of months. It's usually like the last big event as we enter the summer. And I don't know that that's going to be happening this year, which sucks, but it is an incredible time to see people come, and it's hundreds, thousands, thousands of people. Is it thousands? Yeah, I mean, it's growing. I mean, every year it continues to grow. But it's, whether you agree or believe or not, it is so satisfying to see people just living their authentic lives. And this, I mean, it doesn't need to be because they're transgender. There's so many different things, facets in life that you can feel pride for. But I think when you have this deep sense of like feeling that you're mentally not in this, and some things, you know, you're feeling like some things needed to have been reworked for yourself, I think it's incredibly freeing. And I mean, having come out as being gay, I know a little bit of what that's like, and to feel this relief and weight off your shoulders so that you don't feel like you're hiding something anymore. And when I tell you the happiness, the like pure, genuine happiness that these people, that you can see these people having, it's incredible because they're not being judged. They're all ages. I'm telling you, all ages, which is like an even more beautiful thing to see. Like, you have the young people who are figuring out who they are, and then you have the more seasoned, mature folk who maybe they're just figuring it out too, or they've been living their life this way and hanging out with their friends. Like, it's honestly incredible to just see people be like genuinely happy and dancing and having a cocktail or a soda, you know. I mean, there's so many walks of life, and that particular Pride event is, I would say, extra magical because, again, just people are, it's just, I don't know how to describe it. It's just, you feel happiness that this person feels happiness, which for people that have gone through like a coming out type of story, it's, you can't relate unless you've done it. And I mean, it's your own journey, your own path. Some people have had rough situations, and there's some who blessed whose families are very supportive. And my mom, when I told her, she was like, honey, I know. Which, oh my gosh, if you guys would ever be interested in knowing my coming out story, I would love to share it because it's funny. I don't know if I told my mom like what spurred it. I might have. I can't remember, but oh no, yeah, no, because it's how, yeah. Okay, so let me know. Thumbs up if you would like to know my coming out story. Because it's funny. Oh my god, I'm LOLing just thinking about that. But anyway, all that to say, that's seeing people happy, and if I can help bring happiness to other people, that's what I like. That's my joy. That's my joy in life. And then I'm gonna like take this one step further and say, what is one joy that I hope to have? And I would like to, and this is the end of the video, so I'm not sure everyone's gonna see this, but hope you do. One thing that I think I would like to hope for in the future is that I can be a parent and provide a child with someone who loves them unconditionally. My mom has been enough parents, or both parents. I don't know, wait, I'm not saying that right. She has been mom and dad. She's been the one for my whole life. And, you know, looking back and like knowing things she's not done or sacrificed so that I could have my life the way it is, or that she could give to me, provide to me, I would love to give that back to someone and just be like extra good at being like a dad, because mine wasn't. Not to bring that down, but you know, I'm 30, I'm beyond it. Will I forget it? No, I can't. Will I forgive it? Maybe that'll take my whole life, but on a day-to-day basis, I don't really think about that too much. And you know, what I do focus on is how I could be support for someone else and be there for them no matter what. So I hope to bring joy to the world. And Denali, that's a great question. Thank you so much. So with that said, we'll end this on this like cute little like high note of optimism and forward thinking. And thank you all for having lunch with me today. I'm gonna go finish this because I never seem to finish these because I talk so much. Also, this was kind of like a big chicken breast, so maybe I'll just save that. Thank you guys so much for listening. Feel free to leave a comment with anything you want to know for next week's lunch with me, and we'll get into it. And what else? Thank you guys for supporting me and supporting my channel. I really appreciate it. Again, if you want to follow me on any social media or shop my Posh Closet, etc., links will be down below. Everything's at PoshBossBlake. I made it super easy. So feel free to leave a comment, thumbs up. Thank you so much. Feel free to subscribe. Okay, thank you everybody. Bye.